Hey, how's it going? I'm working on this new thing for I've got this set up. So Statamic has this concept of collections. And so you can see I've got one called blog. This is all of our blog posts. And you can see how these are set up. Like that. By the way, is that better, Philippe? You can hear me now? Okay, perfect. So yeah, this is what blog posts look like. If we can view them live. And what I've also done is I've set up a collection for frequently asked questions. We covered this last time. So here's a bunch of questions we get all the time. And now what I can do with these is I can put these throughout existing content. So right here in my About page, if I want to show a frequently asked question here, I can do that. And maybe actually I'll just style this a little bit differently so you can see what I mean. So let's go down here to frequently asked questions, and let's just add a border around this. Maybe we'll just make it gray like that. Okay, so if we visit this URL now, wait, is this? This is frequently asked questions. Is this right? Border gray. Oh, thanks. I'm not using the right microphone right now. It's just my computer, but I don't understand why that didn't work. Might be, do I have, hold on. I might not be running. Yeah, this is running. Because this is the frequently asked question right here, right? So basically, why do I need transistor? That's right here. And I've also created now a new collection called features. And the idea with this is that I can do exactly what Benedict just recommended. Let me play that clip for you just again, just so you can hear it again.
Having dedicated feature pages, like as landing pages, when people search for a specific feature or a specific style of solving a problem, like user segmentation, then have a dedicated landing page or a feature page that talks just about that. Or once we have in-app messages, have a dedicated landing page for that and stuff like that.
So what I should be able to do now is have a dedicated feature page. So here's host multiple podcasts on the same account. That's a feature. And if we view this, here's what it looks like, right? You can see I've got the title, I've got some text, I've got an image. And this becomes its own page on Transistor, which is great. That's exactly what you want. But what we can also do is in an existing page, we can also insert that content. So here I've got a features block, host multiple podcasts on the same account. And if we view this page now, we can see it's inserting that content automatically here. See that? And you can see how this could become helpful, right? Let's go back here and let's edit the features page. So right now you can see we've got some duplication here, right? But let's just delete all this. So I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete this as well. Delete that. I'm gonna delete all this. So now instead of having to retype this multiple times, I'm going to enter a feature block. I'm going to choose that feature. I'm going to save. Now, this might not be set up on the right template. We'll see if this works. And look at that. It automatically inserts that same content block, the same one that we also have on our About page, and the same one that is also on its own landing page. This is really, really slick. I'm able to display the content, in this case, in 3 different places, and but only edit it in one place. Does that make sense? If this makes sense, in the comments, just give me a thumbs up or hell yeah or something. And what I like about it is instead of having to maintain kind of multiple things, you can just use it all in the same place. So let's actually create another one here. So I'm just going to go here. I'm going to go here, and let's create a new entry, and we'll call this one multiple users. Invite multiple collaborators. Okay, so that's going to be this part here, and I'm going to copy this over here, and I'm going to save this now. So now this should have its own landing page, which it does, but I should also be able to use it here, right? So let's delete this, and if we save it and we view it, it's now gone, right? That section's gone. But if I go back here and I let's just go here. Actually, might need to refresh this window. Just need to get my, where is it? Here we go. So I'm going to enter a new feature, and now I'm going to have invite multiple collaborators. And let's just move this up here. Delete that. Okay. Save that. And if we refresh this, it should now show that section. There it is. Do you kind of get what's going on here? So I think, and it wasn't, it took a little bit to figure this out, but once I figured it out, it really, it wasn't that hard to implement. And now the flexibility of this, being able to kind of show it everywhere, is a really big deal. So yeah, any questions about that? Let me show you one more, just so we're all. So let's go back here, and let's create one called Podcast Analytics. So we're going to go back to this feature collection, create an entry. We're going to call this Podcast Analytics. And let's go here and copy that section. What does this go to? Oh, and see, I have right now a case study on this stuff, but if I want to create an actual page, right? So so here's this, and yeah, we might want to grab maybe some of these images here. So this one is podcast stats charts. So let's insert that image. Browse that. Podcast stats charts. That's this one right here. Okay, so we'll select that. Now we have it right there. We'll save this, and we should be able to live preview this now, right? It gets its own landing page, features/podcast analytics, good for SEO. But then I can go back to my features page, and I'll probably have to reload this page actually. And I can now add another feature block called Podcast Analytics. I can save this, and we can visit this now. And there it is, Podcast Analytics. So this is I don't know. It's kind of blowing my mind. Yeah, I'm glad. See, Sam Podlagar likes it, so that's all that matters. Might you want variations on different pages? How would you handle that? Well, the nice thing is that every page, I still have the ability to add more text if I wanted to. The advantage of reusing these blocks is that I only have to update them in one place. So if something changes, for example, a good example of this might be if we let's go to these collections here, frequently asked questions. What happens when I go over my download limit? Right now, our starter plan includes 10,000 downloads per month. Well, if we up that to 50,000, I want to be able to click save and have this update everywhere, right? And a good example of this might be, let's actually go to, I'll show you how I implement this on the pricing. So I have like this really, this is just an HTML page. But at the bottom of this page, let's go all the way down here. Actually, I got to remember how I did this here. So if I want, these are, okay. So let's say I want to be able to add in these these frequently asked questions. I think I can just drop this right in here. Let's go back to pricing. I think I can just drop this in. And let's go there now and see what happens. So let's go to pages, pricing. I got to remember actually how I have this set up. This might not work. But, oh yeah, I've got this set up a different place. I can't remember how I have this template set up. Let me try to find a better example of this, Robert. So let's go back here to the About page. And let's say, in this case, we've got the features section, right? And let's say I want to say a little bit more about that feature. You can still customize this part here before and after. So right here, we might want to say a little bit more, right? We might want to say, this is a big deal if you have a podcast network. And I'm referring, of course, to the features section. It doesn't really make sense in context here, but so we'll save that. And so now this part here I've just added to the end of this section here, right? So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's one way you could deal with that. Let's see if I can make this make more sense contextually. So I'm gonna delete this set here. I'm gonna cinch this together. And so I think a way this would make more sense is this page starts off by saying, you know, what does Transistor do? We make podcast less confusing. And then maybe we have this frequently asked question here, right? That's this section here. But maybe right underneath that, we want to really highlight one thing that makes Transistor unique. And this is actually the one thing that's see if I can sometimes the editor doesn't. So right under here, I might want to say, here's a feature. You can host multiple podcasts on the same account, right? And so I'm going to save that. Now this should make more kind of narrative sense, is that this is our about page, and what do? We make podcasting less confusing. Why do you need Transistor? You can host multiple podcasts from the same account. That's kind of our premier feature. And like Robert said, maybe you want to add a little bit more to this. Well, right underneath there, I can add a section that says, I just gotta disable that. I can add a section that goes, this is especially helpful if you are hosting a network of podcasts. You'll only pay one price for all your podcasts, all your shows. Okay, so now when we refresh this, we've still got this section that relates to this, and it just seamlessly works in with everything. And then we get into John and I's story, which is right here. And you can see I've also inserted a frequently asked question underneath this call to action. And these are all just blocks, right? I could reorder these if I wanted. I could put frequently asked questions, this question before. So now it's before the call to action, but in this case I want it, where is it? Right here. I want it to be right there. I can put this block anywhere, as you saw as I was reordering it. And even this right here, this call to action block, this is all defined right over here. And again, maybe I want to have, like, I don't know, I want to make it red. Oh yeah, see, this isn't rendering these Tailwind styles for some reason. Let's just go back here for a sec, see what's going on here. Why is this not working? Thanks, Sam. That was John Buddha. John did that blur behind the nav. Let's see if this worked. I don't know why it's not rendering these Tailwind changes. It's really weird. Border red. Is this not? Maybe this is not the updated version or something. Let's look. Border color. Border red 500. Why doesn't that work? There we go. So if I wanted to, make every call to action have this red border around it, I just apply it in one place, and then it applies everywhere I have that call to action. I might have one here too. Yeah, see? So you can see how these reusable blocks, how like that really changes a lot of things when you can define it in one place. Let's go back and actually let's try that other thing we were trying, which was we wanted this to have a border. I don't know if we have to. Okay, so let's save that. And now if we go here, no, we got to go, let's go back to about. There we go. So if you really wanted to, for example, define, you wanted to make all the frequently asked questions look a different way, you could also style it that way, on this level, and then every time there's a frequently asked question, it has a border around it. So lots of options for styling things. Just going to remove that for now. Yeah. Anything else before I go? Any other questions about this? Let me show off that thing that Sam's talking about. You can see there's a transparency here behind the header. Kind of blurs it, and I've actually added quite a bit more on here now. John just created this section here. We have an actual...
My name is Ali. I'm a doctor and YouTuber. I'm Seymour.
A way of listening to while seeing the embeddable player and being able to interact with it. So this is kind of like show, don't tell. So yeah, it feels like we're getting a lot closer here. And yeah, this level of reusable blocks, I feel like is the cherry on top. It's pretty fun to work with. All right, that's it.